Hey everybody. So a little bit of information about my policy for this year to rotate my wax and why. So as a little bit of background is that as a beekeeper you're always working against all external factors. So you have these farmers, they spray their fields, their crops to with pesticides. And even 20 years ago, when most of these pesticides were still allowed, and these pesticides end up in your colony. So even 20 years ago, when this stuff was used, it settles down on a dirt road. Somebody drives over the dirt road, it gets up in the air, and it comes back in your colony 20 years later. And that's what some of the research from Wageningen University has found out. Seen some presentation about this, but the reality is that every year you should rotate some of your wax to reduce the load of pesticides. Well, what I've done usually is I replaced about 25% of the wax in my colonies. So I took out from these 10 frames, I took out 3, and I then just replaced them for new comb. And then you see some of these older frames, and then you see some of these newer frames, and that's usually how a box then looks. But this year I've decided to go a different route. So my honey boxes, they're not used the entire year, so colonies are not on them the entire year. They're only a couple weeks of the year in this box. So I keep that policy as is. 25% is replaced, which is fine. But my brood combs, however, is something where a colony is all the time on. So the entire year they live on this wax. So these lower frames, they are brood boxes. That's where the queen lays her eggs and where baby bees are raised. And so that's the result, is that they are living an entire year in these boxes. So I want to reduce the amount of pesticides in this as much as possible. So this year I've decided to sacrifice one of the honey flows, the first honey flow here in my area, and that's dandelion honey flow. It smells really bad, like socks, when they bring it in. I really don't like the taste, so I'm fine with just sacrificing this 3 or 4 weeks of honey flow and just spilling out all these is 50%, so half of the box, on top of this 25% of these honey boxes. I'm fine with sacrificing that. But it does mean that I lose a lot of honey, kilos and kilos of honey. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm a hobby beekeeper and I don't have to earn a living on this. I just want to have my cost retrieved and make this a zero cost hobby. So that's what I've been doing this year. So I want to take better care of these bees, even better care. So even replacing 25% is a lot compared to a lot of older beekeepers. They said, well, you should think about replacing your honey boxes if the wax starts to look black. But yeah, I'm not okay with that because the numbers that I've seen, even 20-year-old pesticides that are banned for a year, still show up in recent studies. So let's see what if this brings more happy and healthy colonies. I hope that it also reflects in some of their behavior, but at least I can then say that I've done everything to give them a good home. So a little bit about this colony. This is an F1 colony. So I keep buckfast bees. Buckfast bees are very mild-natured and they fetch a lot of honey. So they only have 3 honey boxes. This is the third one. But yeah, in this area where I have a lot of other beekeepers in my area with a lot of bees, and with not that many sources of honey. They have done exceptional. So they're one of the few that have 3 boxes of honey in 1 week. So some of these other beekeepers they claim to have or they get 8 boxes of honey, which is awesome. But usually they're the only ones in the area. And here I have to deal with at least 7 beekeepers in a small area. Uh, I think already in 100 meters area around me. So yeah, there's a lot of contention, and you instantly notice it when there's a dearth that these bees are suffering because they cannot find anything because there's so much contention. But now there's a honey flow. They brought in 3 boxes of honey. Really happy. It's starting to rain now today. Um, and so that means that probably acacia, which needs about 25 degrees Celsius before it starts to flow honey, uh, is taken out probably for a couple of days. It's going to be little bit chillier. So maybe I'll keep 2 boxes of honey if I leave this on. Uh, Maybe they'll eat some of it, which is fine. But yeah, the first honey flow that I can actually harvest. Um, yeah, just some little bit of background of rotating my wax policy.